Hey mamas, and welcome to today's video. I am going to be taking you through my yearly planning process for homeschool. I am trying to go completely paperless as much as possible, and so I'm going to show you all the steps that I'm taking to plan for this school year using mostly my laptop. As far as laying everything out and seeing everything that I want to be planning for, I am definitely going to be using my laptop. But I will admit, I'm definitely the type of person that likes to write things down. So I'm gonna show you what I did in my notebook to kind of get my ideas flowing and going in a little brain dump. This is the notebook where everything in my life lives, from journaling to planning for home and homeschool. So on this page, I decided to do a little bit of a brainstorm for our planning for next year. I first started by separating things out by subject. So I have here on the left-hand side some of the different curriculum that I was thinking about using. And on this right-hand side, I have listed different types of activities that I was thinking that my kids can do. And then over here, I started to just think about some different questions I had for myself. Obviously, I didn't finish writing that one, that's okay. But I like the fact that I'm able to not only start to map out what I think things are going to be like for this school year, but also, kind of do more like journaling type of thinking in my process for planning. After I went through the process of writing a lot of my ideas down in the notebook, which honestly I'm going to continue to do because I carry this thing with me everywhere, and when an idea pops into my head, it's just so convenient to be able to put it in my notebook. But after that, I put together an Excel spreadsheet that has different little spreadsheets within the larger one. This entire spreadsheet I just titled Homeschool 2022 to 2023, very simple. And like I mentioned, I have different categories of spreadsheets, so I have them all listed down here. This first sheet lays out my entire yearly plan. I do it month by month, and the things that I focus on are our breaks, our extras, so this is just like extracurricular activities that we want to do, birthdays, I'm gonna continue to fill that out, national holidays, field trips, and our homeschool bucket list. And this is something that I thought would be fun because I'm always thinking of things that I want to do in our homeschool, like specifically trips we want to take, and I'm going to incorporate some other things in there, like maybe we want to bake a birthday cake for one of the birthdays. And so I want to make sure that I keep track of that by doing a bucket list. On the left here, I have vision, mission, and goals. And what I'm going to be doing is referring to my paper version of this that I did at the beginning of the 2021 school year. I'm going to just type those out here and see what I want to tweak. I do have some new goals that I need to transfer from my notebook to this area here, so I do need to work on that. And then the other thing I have here is the first term and second term. Ooh, that's supposed to say second term, so I'm gonna fix that. But so I'm just gonna put the days that we attended in each of those. I just wanna focus on the days that we attended because that's what we have to turn in for our state. But at the same time, I'm wondering if it might be helpful for us to also indicate when we're not doing homeschool and specifically what we're doing. So over here, back into the middle area, I do have breaks. And this was one thing that, if you saw my last video, is so important for me to do because I hadn't been doing that. And I got burnt out so quickly each and every month that passed because I didn't take a break. So we're going to be very mindful of that. And so I think it's easy for me to just kind of see when we're taking a break on this side, but perhaps I might want to keep track of the days we were absent that we didn't plan for. And so maybe I'll add that in a section over on this left side. Additionally, what I did to figure out what dates we were going to put into this area is I just put the actual number of the day that is in that month. So my birthday is on April 5th, and so I just put 5 - my birthday. I thought this would be a really, really easy way of just seeing like when things are happening. And if it goes through to the next month, I just write down like, so this is the 30th of May to June 1st, and we're gonna take a little summer break at that point. This layout has been really, really helpful for me to see all of the different dates and how they coincide with one another for each month. The next tab on my spreadsheet is our goals and resources. I divided things up by subject, so I have that on the left-hand side here. And then on the top, again, I just have them split up into different categories. And then on this right-hand side, I have this additional area where it's more like, it's not curriculum and it's not resources, but it's more so like these ideas that I have that I want to do with each of these areas. So I have reward system in there, morning basket, how we want to track progress, our rating station, and so on. So going back to this other side, I have our goals and ideas listed on the very first tab. And I wanted to do this because it made sense for me to think about the goal that we have first. And one thing that I'm incorporating that is so different from what I did last year is having an overarching goal for all my kids in each of the subjects. I also have the main goal of our homeschool written down, which for now is learn how to learn. And I know that's very broad, so I'm gonna go back and obviously tweak that. But for instance, language arts, I have here the goal underneath that main goal is to see and understand the world through multiple stories, read and write our own stories to express our experiences of reading the world and the word. What follows after that is the curriculum, our resources and supplements and activities that we're hoping to do in order to reach that goal. And so I have here some ideas. Honestly, this I'm not completely sold on yet, but I just kind of jotted it down to see like how things are going to come together. And so I have my curriculum listed there, then our resources and supplements. It's so important for me, again, to see this in sequence because I want to make sure that everything we're doing is connecting to one another and connecting back to our goals. And then the activities on this side, what I like about it is it's not only like ideas of activities, but also things that we've done in the past. And, it kind of speaks to some of the resources that we have here at home already. So this is the way that I'm kind of thinking through what we're gonna do for each subject. But I also am starting to think about how we want to approach each subject. So what I'm talking about is, do I want to just say like, okay, this is what we're doing for language arts, this is what we're doing for math, and they're more like disparate subjects. I'm trying to find a way to kind of meld them together and connect them. And I will say Serena from the Falco family had a brilliant idea that she did with her kids to make it a little bit more of an identity thing in terms of learning. So I'll give you an example. One thing that she did was to bridge reading and writing by having her kids take on the identity of a journalist. That's something that I just find so fascinating, and I'm trying to kind of brainstorm those ideas for us in our homeschool now. This last sheet here, which I haven't labeled, but basically it's my to-do sheet. And again, I have my notebook that I'm going to be primarily using for this task of writing down to-dos. But I think that having it here is really helpful because I'm able to backtrack and see how that coincides with some of the things that I have ideas about and how I'm kind of making those ideas come to life. So all of these go back to the previous sheets that I already have listed. The other thing I want to mention as I'm kind of looking through these sheets again is that yes, I do have it all kind of like fancy written here. You definitely don't have to do that. The one thing that I do like about using spreadsheets though is that you can make like different columns come together in different ways. So you can merge columns, you can have different colors for different things. I don't like to color code everything because for me it's like way too much input. But as you can see here, I have some nice different tabs that have different colors in it, and I have this little itty bitty column here. If you expand it out, you can actually see like, oh, that didn't work. but you can actually expand these out. So this is like column B, and then column C is this little tiny one. And I made it the same color as this, so it looks like a box. This is something I love because it makes things so neat and organized. And then I can use all of these different fun fonts to, list out these different categories. And I'm that type of person. I really like to use different fonts for things, and it catches my eye, and it makes the process of planning for homeschool a lot more enjoyable. What I'm using right now is Google Spreadsheets. So obviously you can use any type of spreadsheet that you have already available on your computer, but this one is super helpful because if I wanted to share it with my husband, I can do that. When my kids get older and they get to the point where they're using their own technology to do their work, I can also share this with them. So I think this works so well for not only organizing and putting all of the things that you need to for your yearly plan together, but also sharing it with others in your family who need to see these different plans. Last thing that I absolutely love about going paperless and using these Google Sheets is that I can go in and edit, and I don't have to reprint a sheet that has all of this information, or look in my planner and say to myself, oh my gosh, I wrote this down, I didn't mean to write that down, and everything is just super sloppy because I didn't do things correctly in the first place, which is basically kind of what happened to me this past year. I can go in here and I can write all these things down and delete and add whenever I need to. So it's a lot less complicated than having my physical yearly plan. I am so excited that I decided to go mostly paperless as far as our homeschool planning for this upcoming year. And I truly hope that you found this video helpful for your planning as well. Take care, be blessed, and I'll see you in the next one.